In October of 2017, Marilyn, Hickey, and a group of 67 travelers met to tour the beautiful countries of Russia and Armenia. The first day in Armenia, the group enjoyed a welcome dinner at the hotel. The dinner turned out to be a wonderful time of reunion, as the majority of the travelers had been on previous trips with Marilyn. The travelers headed out to a full day of touring and saw the highlights of the city of Yerevan. They took a long bus ride to view Mount Ararat in the south, bordering Turkey, where it is believed Noah's Ark landed. They also visited the St. Gregory the Illuminator Cathedral, along with many other sites of architectural and historical significance. They toured the Gegard Monastery, a UNESCO World Heritage Site. A trio singing a cappella folk songs serenaded them. On Saturday morning, following praise, worship, and prayer, Marilyn taught on Gideon and angels. The group toured the Khor Varap Monastery in the Ararat mountain area. The next stop was the Echmiadzin Cathedral. The travelers then visited the Genocide Museum and learned of the vast destruction of millions of people by the Turks in 1918. The travelers went to Word of Life Church. Everyone enjoyed the worship, which consisted of both contemporary Armenian worship and more familiar songs. Marilyn preached on the miraculous and started calling out areas of healing. The next day, after morning worship and prayer, the group went back to Word of Life Church. Marilyn spoke on miracles and taught on the 3 Hebrew men who were thrown into the furnace. Again, many people came forward, and over 200 people were baptized in the Holy Spirit. During the service, tumors disappeared, knees, spines, and hips straightened. The next day, the group flew to St. Petersburg, Russia. Following praise, worship, and teaching from Marilyn, the travelers started touring St. Petersburg. The city is beautiful, filled with huge pastel-colored historic buildings. The group toured Peter and Paul's fortress, along with the Cathedral of the Spilled Blood. This cathedral was the Church of Peter the Great and houses the tombs of Peter, Catherine the Great, and the Romanovs. After lunch, the group visited the Hermitage, or Winter Palace. It was very exciting with its opulent and extravagantly decorated rooms with amazing works of art. The next morning, everyone enjoyed a celebration breakfast where Marilyn talked about sowing into dreams. The travelers had free time for the rest of the day to investigate the area as they chose. Everyone toured the Great Palace of Peter the Great and Peterhof Park, then went to Pushkin for a luncheon at the Podvodier restaurant, the favorite of President Putin when he visits St. Petersburg. After lunch, the group went to Pavlovsk Palace, that's Russian for Paul, and Catherine's Palace. The travelers were amazed at the grand surroundings people had lived in. The next day, they traveled to Moscow, Russia's largest city. Their first day in Moscow started by touring the Bolshoi Theater, St. Basil's Cathedral, and Red Square. The sights were impressive, and everyone had a great time. Next, the group went to Good News Church, pastored by Paul Renner. Marilyn taught on healing and miracles, and she emphasized that the power of the Lord is very present to heal. Marilyn prayed for back problems, grief, growths, tumors, and warts, and talked about healing being a process. The travelers prayed for the sick, and it seemed as if the entire congregation came to the altar. Travelers spent the rest of the day at their leisure. On the last day of the tour, the group visited the Kremlin and the Armory Chamber. The museum had several beautiful Fabergé eggs on display. This was a faith-filled, amazing ministry trip, made possible thanks to friends and partners of Marilyn Hickey Ministries.